friends, today on STEMPorte we are looking at another STEM activity called density. So in this activity you would want to of course have taught density in the classroom, and if students of course understand the concept of density and they know that of course density means when a material or substance is being measured according to how tightly packed the material is. And of course you want to be able to tell them that it's important they understand the density of different substances as it applies to the real world when it comes to construction, being able to make materials that would sink or float like a boat for instance. And you want to be able to know which material, which object would sink or float, which object would sink if placed on water, and which one would float. And of course you want to introduce your materials to them. For me, for this ones, we are going to be introducing oil, a dishwasher, the glasses they would use. If you're in a science lab, even better, it's better you use the appropriate science apparatus. And here I have plastic cups and I have a measuring spoon. Why I like this is because it means that even parents can participate in this activity. So I'm showing you what can be used at home. In the school you want to use measuring cups, measuring cylinders, measuring spoons. You want to ensure it's calibrated. For me here right now, I would probably use the spoon to ensure that I have accurate measurements. And if you want to use the glasses, you probably want to have a tape at this at any portion you want to measure in anyway. So you just put a tape on each of the glasses so that they have the same measurements, right? And you want to of course explain to them the SI units, that it can be represented as rho. It's a Greek unit. You want to explain that it can be calculated by dividing mass over volume, and that mass of course will be in kilograms and volume will be in cubic meters. So you want to explain all that to them very accurately as possible. And depending on the level of Bloom's taxonomy they have attained in their classroom, that would actually determine whether you're going to give them instructions or whether they're going to use the initiative to actually carry out the activities on their own. You want to ensure that you give them a prediction sheet and of course an observation sheet so they can use the sheets appropriately. As explained in my previous activity, you will see a sample of the prediction sheet and the observation sheet on STEMPorte page on Instagram. You would see a sample of what the sheets should look like. The prediction sheet is used in the beginning and the observation sheet is used as the experiment progresses. You want to ensure that you integrate science, technology, engineering, math. So when you are teaching them how to pour in the substances, you would have a calibrated a glass where you can use to measure and teach them what the measurement is in cubic meters. You want to if you're using a spoon, you want to also have this in a particular measurement to teach them measurement. That is maths. You want to of course have something like a paper boat, teach them how to construct a paper boat and place it, show them how the surface area will be displaced and how they're able to determine why this would sink better and this will float better. Explain the concept of buoyancy in construction, and their engineering is coming in, right? So for this experiment, for instance, we're using oil, a dishwasher fluid, and water. And I talked about having a control copy in every experiment you're doing. So for instance, I would do this in front of the students and I will let them see that, okay, this is my control copy. For this one, I measured 2 spoons of water, of the dishwasher, and the oil. So if you look at this, I mixed it and then allowed it to settle for about 3 minutes. If you look at this, you would see that the fluids are standing in layers. So you see that the dishwasher is at the bottom, the water is in the middle, and then the oil is on top. Okay, so now this is our control copy, right? And then you have them now try to do it in different ways. They measure it in cubic meters, the same amount of substance. They put water, they put oil, they put dishwasher, they mix it, and they put it beside this, and they compare. They allow it to stand for a few minutes. Of course, you would have told them that in your instruction. So when you compare it, you would see that even with the mixing, the layers will remain the same. The heavier substance, which would be the most dense, we eventually settle. The one in the middle would be the second most dense, and the one on the top will be the less dense material. And then when you try to put into another cup, you probably want to have one that has a cover, and then turn it upside down and then see if the layers would form the same way after a few minutes of being settled. And then you want to try other ways, you want to mix with other substances, put the water, add coloring, try different ways. Ensure that you are as creative as possible and watch them take the observations, the experiments, watch them do their calculations. And you can also introduce other concepts by bringing in a measuring a weighing scale, let them measure it, take the mass, take the kilogram, calculate the density. There you are actually doing a real life STEM activity. You're integrating science, technology, engineering, maths. Get them to also make a boat with a paper and place it on the substances and see which one will sink or which one will float and how long it will stay on each substance. That way you are helping them to, understand that in the real world, they need to be able to understand buoyancy, they need to be able to understand the mass and the volume to be able to calculate and to be able to know that this particular object or this particular material would sink or float in water. For instance, in engineering, those constructing boards or ships, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying, right? Great. So now at the end of the experiment, the students should be able to discuss, share their thoughts, and be able to be as creative as possible. I'm sure you can do it, can't you? If you have any questions, please shoot me an email or shoot me a DM. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye bye.